So recently, something has been pointed out to me that I did not realize that I was doing, but as soon as it was pointed out to me, I realized that I've been letting fear creep into my game and into my swing for too long. And one bad round a few months ago has slowly inched its way into playing some bad golf for the last few months. So what do I mean by that? I played golf, I played around with my friend. He pointed out that my stance was way too close and my alignment was way too off. Coincidentally, a commenter also said, hey, your stance is closed. They said the same thing. Maybe it's the same person. I don't know. I don't think so. But the reason why that happened is because a few months ago, I was playing around, just practicing, and I was playing my normal fade, and nothing was working. I was hitting it off the toe. I was chunking it. Everything went wrong. And those rounds happened. However, that creeped into my mind thinking, hey, you can't play a fade anymore. Let's figure out what to do. So then I would go on the range and I would try hitting a draw. And I would hit a draw, but I would end up pulling the draw, and I just kept playing a draw because I don't think in draws. I think in fades. Over the span of a few months, well, the draw started coming out and my stance closed more and more, and my alignment was way off because I would pull a draw and I would hook it, and I would be so afraid of hooking it that I would aim way to the right. And then because of that, well, now my alignment is way off. I'm aimed towards those trees as opposed to the center of the fairway because I'm afraid of pulling it because that's the only shot that I could play at the time. So now that that's been pointed out, I wanted to talk a little bit about how we can go from fear-based thinking to solution-based thinking. If you've ever been to therapy, maybe you've heard of it, but solution-focused thinking is just what it sounds like. We're gonna think in solutions. Having fear creep into your game is going to create fear-based decisions and fear-based swings. If I'm not hitting my driver well, guess what I'm not gonna use? My driver, until I go on the driving range and work it out. But a lot of people will just force it through the fear, and they create a lot of mistakes in their bodies. And often, I've been saying don't miss left, and that's why I've been playing a fade in the recent videos, because I'm afraid of the duck hook left. And what I've been doing, I've been pushing it and slicing it right. Why? Because I'm thinking fear-based as opposed to solution-based. So I don't want to hit it left, of course, but I'm not gonna think about hitting it left. I'm gonna visualize, what do I want it to do? So I'm going to play a fade, right? Because it fits the shape of this hole, but I'm not thinking, all right, where do I not want to miss? I'm thinking, where do I want this ball to go? And hopefully through that, thinking, where do I want this ball to go? It's gonna go where I want it to go. If I'm not confident in my driver, well, then I'm gonna club down to a club that I know I can hit it where I want it to go. If there's out of bounds anywhere, well, I'm not gonna hit the club where it can go out of bounds. But I'm not gonna let the fear-based decision talk about, hey, don't go left, don't go left, don't go left, because my body's gonna think, all right, don't go left, let's go right. Well, I went left. Just because you have a solution-focused plan and thought process, that doesn't necessarily mean you are going to hit every shot the way that you want it. Otherwise, we would be on the PGA. But it does introduce a better line of thinking that is going to get you better results and get you to the places where you want to be. Once you have consistent fear-based thinking in golf or in life, you end up making a bunch of overcorrections that aren't necessary. When that happens, well, then you start to have rounds like me where you are overcompensating, and then you compensate for the overcompensation, and then you overcompensate for the overcompensation, and then you're just playing a whole different game, and you wondered where you swing went. If you are shooting over 100 and say like on a par 70 course, that means you are making over 30 mistakes in your round. 30 mistakes, that's a lot of mistakes when you look at it that way. What are those mistakes? Well, there's a lot of course management mistakes, but there's also a lot of thinking mistakes that people make. And whether that thinking is what they're doing in their swing or how to get the ball where they want it to, well, it introduces too many problem-based thoughts as opposed to solution-based thoughts. Every mistake that you make has a solution. Now, of course, there's a skill component to it, otherwise golf wouldn't be golf, but there's always a solution to the mistakes that you are making. There we go. What a beautiful shot. And a lot of people may think, all right, don't hit it into the bunker, whatever, yada, yada. And now they step up onto the green and they think from here, oh, I don't want a 3-putt, right? Because I already made one mistake back there. This is for par. I don't want a 3-putt because then I'll get a double bogey, a triple bogey, and it's going to look embarrassing and yada, yada, yada. You're thinking problem bases. A lot of problems as opposed to a lot of solutions. The solution is, how do I get this in or near the hole? If I can get it in the hole for par, everybody's happy. If I can get it near the hole and at least tap it in for bogey, I'll take that after a bad tee shot. But I'm not thinking don't 3-putt, I'm thinking get it into the hole. Oh. Now, a lot of people will step into a hole like this and think, oh goodness, oh shit, there is water. Don't hit it into the water. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, right? But we don't want to think primarily based off of don't hit it into the water. We want to think, well, what do I want to do? What do I need to do? If you are a high handicapper, then you should be thinking, hey, where is the out of bounds spots? The out of bounds spots are far left and in the water. Do I have a club that can reach the water? Yes, my driver would reach the water. It's only 160 to the water, but to carry the water, it's around 290, right? So there's a lot of water there. So what do I not want to do? Especially if I slice it, I don't want to go right. I'm going to hit a club that is not going to go into the water. What club will not go into the water? Solution, my 6-iron can get it out there into the fairway, right? It's going to be safe. And then I just need to think about making clean contact. That's it. Once I think about where do I want this ball to land, all I need to think about is clean contact. I don't want to think about don't top it, don't chunk it, don't look embarrassing, don't shank it. All those thoughts are going to cause you to do those things, right? They're going to cause your swing to overcompensate subconsciously, unconsciously, whichever one it is, and correct for those mistakes that you haven't even made yet. All right, we hit the 6-iron out there. We're good to go. Now, of course, it bounced on the fairway and rolled over here because I was hitting a fade and it rolls this way. But still, we're in a good spot. We have a little less than 100 yards left. I still played a club that I was confident in, and I knew, well, I wasn't going to push it over here because I aimed over there. Now, of course, you need to learn the lies. That's going to help you make better contact with the ball. But for most people, very simple terms, very simple solutions of what you're actually doing right now is going to be the way to go. So it's below my feet. What do I need to do? I still need to hit clean contact. How do I clean contact? Well, I'm going to bend down a little bit more, and it's going to go to the right because it's down sloping. So I'm going to aim a little bit more to the left. You should know these basics. You don't need to get too advanced with it, but you should know the basics of how the ball is going to interact with the ground. I'm still going to think, all right, hit clean contact. I want to stay over the ball. I don't want to lose my balance. All I want to do is think clean contact, hit it to the left of the green. I'm not thinking don't shank it into the water. I'm not thinking this lie sucks. I'm not thinking of any of those problems. I'm only thinking, what do I want to do? We're on, and everyone's happy. If I'm worried about 3-putting, what is the solution to 3-putting? 4-putting. Now, I'm going to 2-putt this. How do I 2-putt this, or at least 1-putt this, right? Well, I see that everything is sloping this way. I've read the green. Count off how far it is, right? So you can just count the yardage, take large steps. I don't know, about 24 feet, right? I don't know, I didn't actually count it. So around 20 feet, I'm gonna hit this to the left because I see it sloping. If you learn aim point, learn aim point. If you learn not, do whatever. I'm going to use the line on the ball so I know I'm at least hitting it in the direction of my read. And then I don't need to think about where is this ball going. I just need to think about how far do I need to hit this. By eliminating one problem of misalignment, well, then I find a solution to that. I use the line on the ball. Now I just need to think about how far do I want to hit it. All in my mind is how far I'm thinking about hitting it. I'm thinking about hitting it into the hole. Am I going to do that? Let's find out. No, I did not. But I hit a good putt, right? So now we have around 4 feet. Your friends will give you that. If you don't need to give you that, you just walk up, You just aim and you hit the putt and everybody goes home happy. But with those small putts, you don't want to think, oh, I'm gonna miss this, I'm gonna 2-putt, I'm gonna 3-putt from there. Don't let that introduce into your thoughts. So I wanted to drop the ball here as a demonstration of another problem that I see people make all the time, or at least hear them make. But they will have a shot like this, where there is a small chip over a hazard, and they think, oh, I don't want to top it or chunk it into there, right? So if you're thinking, all right, don't top it, you're probably going to chunk it. Why? Because you're going to overcompensate for topping it, and then you chunk it, right? If I'm thinking don't chunk it, well, then I'm going to top it, right? Because I'm overcompensating. I'm telling my body, don't chunk it. What's the best way to not chunk it? You hit up on it, you do things, you hit too far down on it, introduce a bad problem. All I want to think is, okay, I got 30 yards over there, make clean contact. I don't want to think, don't chunk, don't top. I'm just going to think clean contact. And then there you go. Look at this divot, huge divot. Anyway, hopefully you learned something about the problems, and hopefully you implement some of these own solutions that you have found for yourself into your own game. Well, until next time.